And so he walked straight to my table. I stood up, and it was like a little stare down match on some
Wow.
And I won. And then he just pointed at the old girl like, yo, get this dude. It was the 2 ways then. Remember the 2 ways? Anybody with me? 2 ways.
Yeah, I had a 2-way.
Stay with me. He's like, yo, it was, get this dude my 2-way number. Well, I didn't call him the next day because I'm busy.
Yeah, what a game.
Well, I wasn't busy. But you don't know. Don't nobody know. You don't know. You know. So, long story short, I remember, I was like, I waited. Next thing you know, Club New York happened. I'm like, dang, I done waited too late to hit.
Y'all, we knew that Diddy's former assistants were going to bring the tea with a capital T at Diddy's trial. But there's one particular former assistant we are all curious about, and I personally like to call him the wild card. Yep, Fonzworth Bentley, the guy that Diddy made follow him everywhere holding a giant umbrella.
All the stuff that you hear about Puff, and everybody got a story.
Yeah.
But it ain't official until you see the guy with the umbrella.
Fonzworth Bentley.
Fonzworth.
I know Fonzworth.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, everybody else can say what they want. If Fonzworth come walking in to court with the umbrella, and he's twirling it, and whatever comes out of his mouth,
yeah,
you know it's a true story.
If there is anybody who witnessed most of the things that happened with Diddy, including what possibly happened to Kim Porter, it was Mr. Bentley. And if word on the street is anything to go by, he is already singing like a bird while twirling his umbrella.
Y'all don't understand. I look at Bentley and all these people. Come on, man. Now that we know the monster, man, you carry the man umbrella. You was the man. I watched this man disrespect you every chance he got. Talk to you like his bitch. He talked to Harv like his bitch. He talked to D-Dot like his bitch. He talked to all them niggas like they his bitches. And now that I learned that they really were his bitches, that's why I got so much respect for Gene. Because a lot of them niggas is scared to do what Gene doing.
But here's a plot twist. Bentley was mentioned in a recent lawsuit as one of the people who SA'd a 13 and 14-year-old with Diddy. So what role exactly was he playing with Diddy? Accomplice? Loves? That's exactly what we are going to try and figure out. Okay, so far, a few of Diddy's former personal assistants have been called to testify by prosecutors. And they told the jury that working as Diddy's PA meant turning a blind eye to harrowing things while meticulously managing every detail of his life, including making sure his toiletries all faced the same way and keeping his hotel suite stocked with applesauce, Jell-O, and Fiji water. They also said that even on good days, the pay was low, the days were long, and the work week could stretch 100 hours long. But on the worst days, they testified that they were drawn into a world of chaos and illegality. One former PA, David James, recounted chauffeuring Diddy to a narrowly averted fight using firearms with his rival record executive Suge Knight. James said he realized he might that night at the wheel of his boss's car in the parking lot of an all-night Los Angeles diner. Another assistant remembered the time in 2015 when he heard Diddy's longtime girlfriend Cassie Ventura screaming in the bedroom of Diddy's private jet, and all he could hear was glass shuttering. In addition, Capricorn Clark also testified during the trial that in 2011, she was forced against her will to travel with Diddy to Kid Cudi's home, where Diddy entered the residence with a security guard before fleeing the scene. But you know whose account people really want to hear? Bentley's account, because he was the one who visibly went through a lot when he was Diddy's PA.
This was a different thing coming from Atlanta and just being, just a regular humble guy. So I was like, okay, I get it. And then I started to realize I know a lot of these guys, but they don't know who I am and they don't know what I do. I could be anything.
I'm anybody.
A designer or what, a philosopher. I'm walking around with bow ties.
The feds.
The feds. Like, I'm anything, like you said.
But let's not forget that Bentley was also mentioned in a lawsuit where one Randy Pittman accused him and Diddy of SA. According to court documents, the plaintiff was working with a local talent agency and alleges that he was approached by Bentley regarding potential opportunities with the Sean John fashion brand, which was founded by Diddy in 1998. The plaintiff claims that he was led to believe that he would be helping identify talent for upcoming campaigns and events related to the brand. As part of the engagement, he says he was encouraged to bring individuals, including 2 not yet of age, to an event he believed was related to fashion or entertainment. What followed, the lawsuit claims, was a series of events that the plaintiff alleges led to exploitation, trauma, and long-lasting emotional distress. Randy claims that allegedly Diddy and Fonzworth provided him and the 2 young girls, 13 and 14, with alcohol and pills and coerced them into non-consensual acts through threats of intoxication, and that he and the 2 young girls were subjected to SA and other unlawful acts at this party. Damn. So was Bentley merely one of the people Diddy took advantage of, or was he intentionally working closely with Diddy? Could this be the real reason why he disappeared? Guys, this plot just continues to get thicker and thicker. Anywho, just for a bit of background about their relationship, Diddy first crossed paths with Bentley at a soul food joint right in the midst of his trial in 1999. And Bentley even said that they had a staring contest. According to what Bentley said, this was around the time when Diddy decided to change his name from Puff Daddy to P. Diddy because he needed a clean slate after his 1999 legal issues. Apparently, Bentley had taken it upon himself to send Diddy inspirational Bible verses while he dealt with the infamous charges. Then a few months after Diddy's legal triumph, Bentley, who was managing a restaurant at 11 Madison Park at the time, hit Diddy with the message, "Please don't make me go back to my hater boss." Based on what he said, shortly after that daring message, Diddy recruited Bentley as his personal assistant and valet. And Bentley later shared with the New York Times how that felt for him, saying, "I remember the day exactly. It's going to be in the movie about my life. Sean waved his hand in my face and said, 'Your life has just changed. Are you ready?'" Then he was photographed in St. Tropez with Diddy, and he became his umbrella-carrying man, and he also doubled as other things in Diddy's life, including, allegedly, being Diddy's boy toy. When I tell you that Bentley followed Diddy everywhere, I mean exactly that, and he was seemingly the one person Diddy trusted the most. Then all of a sudden the guy just disappeared, and this was right after rumors started making rounds claiming that Diddy was forcing Bentley to be his boyfriend as well. Well, before Bentley disappeared, he actually tried to make a name for himself. Like in the 2000s, he made an appearance on the band's 2002 album, Too Hot for TV. And the following year, he was featured on the Good Day, Good Sir skit on Outkast's speaker box, The Love Below. And then in 2004, he made a cameo in the music video of Kanye's The New Workout Plan. Fonz also worked as a songwriter, and he's credited on multiple tracks on Kanye's album Yeezus. In 2008, he was also featured in the Yes We Can music video for Barack Obama's presidential campaign. And in addition to all this, Fonz also graced the silver screen with small yet impactful roles in films like Honey, Fat Albert, and Think Like a Man Too. In fact, by the mid-2010s, Fonz had already carved a name for himself as a songwriter, producer, actor, businessman, and so forth. Like, it was really looking like things were working out for him, until he sort of just disappeared from the industry. He moved to Atlanta, got married, and even welcomed 2 kids. But as much as he now portrays himself as a family man, people still say that he went through some things when he was working as Diddy's assistant, and they can't wait for him to take the stand like the other assistants. Well, what the former assistants went through is actually not quite surprising at this point. I mean, in Cassie's lawsuit, she said that Diddy's freak-offs often involved costumes like masquerade masks and lingerie, and they continued for years, taking place at high-end hotels across the United States and in Diddy's homes. Guess who were the people responsible for organizing these parties and making sure everything was set? Yep, the assistants. In fact, these assistants were the ones tasked with the responsibility of taking gifts to Cassie after an incident, and Cassie even said in the lawsuit that the assistants were also the ones who would help to set up the freak-offs where everything took place, including by setting up the hotel suites with baby oil, lighting, and other things. Cassie even said in her lawsuit that after one of the incidents, Diddy's head of security and assistant saw her, and they both began to cry. Then there's Lil Rod, who also said in his lawsuit that Christina Karam required all employees, from the assistants, the butler, the chef, to the housekeepers, to walk around with a pouch or fanny pack filled with substances because it was important for her to have Diddy's choice of whatever he was using immediately ready when he asked for it. I can also tell you for a fact that the former assistants did go through the most based on Capricorn Clark's account. Allegedly, Diddy once roughed her up because she didn't tell him about Cassie's fling with Kid Cudi, and it was an Interscope person that paid her to settle so Diddy wouldn't go to jail.
He had an assistant by the name of Capricorn. He felt Capricorn, Cap was keeping his low about if she was messing with Cudi or not. Puffy shit out that. Now they do the shit out of her. It was an Interscope person, the Interscope check that paid her to settle or he wouldn't go to jail.
But you know what? After Cassie filed her lawsuit, Capricorn was actually among the first people to react to the lawsuit with a cryptic post saying, "Don't take the path of the wicked. Don't follow those who do evil. Stay away from that path. Don't even go near it. Turn around and go the other way." Proverbs 4:14. Then she added how even if the doors were unlocked, one should be willing to walk away from the money, and said that 2011 was hell. The post was also accompanied by an old black and white picture of her wearing shades and sporting bangs, alongside a second image that contained the the text, "They gonna cross you for somebody who gonna cross them." She also sent a tweet where she seemingly called Diddy the devil. She wrote, "Black women end up being the sacrifice for the effery. Last 11 years of my life, I have had to deal with everyone's nonsensical allegiance to the devil. I pray that ends. I don't think highly of any of you. Can't keep your head down and pretend ish is cool no more. Do better." She also gave a shout out to Kim Porter in a different post where she was like, "They will skin you and wear you, baby girl. Then pretend they never wanted the skin." Kim was the only person who didn't switch up. The only one. Dark times. I'm personally very triggered. I pray it's over. I never deserved this. Stop. Speaking of Kim Porter, allegedly, this is one of the things Bentley really wants to get off his chest. You know, Bentley actually hinted that he might tell his truth because after Cassie dropped her bombshell, he shared a quote from Jay-Z's scathingly honest Grammy Global Impact Award acceptance speech where he said, "When I get nervous, I tell the truth." And then he also captioned his post, "Might delete later, but I'ma just sit this here." Well, allegedly, one of the things he really wants to spill on is what Kim was going through. Who knows? Maybe the prosecutors are saving him for last because they know Bentley is going to be the last nail to Diddy's coffin. Or maybe he's going to be going down with Diddy because of what he did, allegedly. Like I said, this plot continues to thicken. But meanwhile, let me know if you think Bentley is innocent or guilty in the comments section below.